I say it's all hogwash. It's insanity. Worse, what's even worse is that they're setting up black kids to fail even more. And that's the real crime. Can you believe it? I'm still here. That's right. Living inside this tent for 100 days from November the 20th to February 28th, bringing to you the awareness that you need to know about the violence on the south side of Chicago, but also to raise as much money as we possibly can to build a center on this block that is much needed called O Block. It's called O Block because it's named after a young man named O.D. Perry who was shot and killed. The gangs picked up the O in his name and started calling it O Block. Well, we decided we like the O. We're going to keep it O Block, but it's going to be changed to Opportunity Block. And I want to thank Fox for giving me the opportunity to bring to you every day Rooftop Revelations, where I can talk to you about the issues, the ideas and thoughts as it relates to the city of Chicago and around our country. One of the biggest debates in America is how to close the achievement gap between white and black students. Personally, I care far more about educating the child than what color he or she is. That's because a poor black child and a poor white child have far more in common than a poor black child and a rich black child. But let's put that aside. I will address this black-white achievement gap because it needs to be addressed. Lately, I've seen some of the most insane ideas come from the left on how to close the gap. Up north, just above Chicago, there's a town called Evanston. In their school district called District 65, only 30.6% of black students met the college readiness benchmark in reading, as opposed to 83.7% for white students. In math, the gap was even wider. Horrible numbers. But what was even more horrible were the proposed solutions. The district held the segregated staff meetings. They spent $100,000 on a report that produced no direct evidence for the racial gap. Instead, they blamed the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, Illinois sundown towns, and the forced sterilization of Puerto Rican women. Okay, that's part of our history. But exactly how does this historical example explain the current problems? They don't. The school also hired a diversity, equity, inclusion staff person. They gave money to outside racial justice organizations to talk about these things like white privilege. I say it's all hogwash. It's insanity. Worse, what's even worse is that they're setting up black kids to fail even more. And that's the real crime. That's the crime that needs to be talked about. What will close the gap? It's simple. A true and honest and vigorous education. In this light, good public charter schools are the very way forward. We have seen them close the gap in New York City and elsewhere. Success Academy and Eva Moskowitz is just one example. They can fire the bad teachers. They can correct wayward students. They are not bound by ineffective racial injustice issues. The good charter schools are not concerned with meaningless optics, but with educating kids. This is not a mind-blowing situation, but I will say this. We have grown so weak as Americans that we allow this kind of racial justice idiocy to undermine our kids' education. We need to all step up and say enough is enough. I know I have to. I'm on the South Side where racism is the least of our problems. Education is one of our biggest problems. And that's why I'm fighting so hard to educate these kids and why it's my goal to open a charter school within Project Hood Community Center. It will happen. It must happen. Our kids need to have a fighting chance, and they need to have someone fighting for them every single day. That's the reason why I promote school choice. I believe it's the best way to go, and I believe it's the best way for our children. Well, just my thoughts, my opinion, my viewpoint. Thank you for tuning in to Rooftop Revelations, and as I always say, till tomorrow, peace.